think the one thing that's really missing is a missed opportunity for you to be the Bully Ray character in WWE. Was that ever approached? Was that ever a possibility?
That close.
What happened?
48 hours away. There's a lot to the story, and I've told 50% of the story. There's another 50% of the story that one day maybe I will tell, but it's not the right time for the world to know. I will say this. I had 3 meetings with Vince, sit downs, one-on-one, and not just Vince giving me the obligatory 5 minutes. These were real talks. And I'll never forget Chris sitting there with him. And I told him, I said, Vince, I'm not doing the Dudley thing anymore. I said, I'm done with this. I'm like, your version of the Dudleys doesn't work for me anymore. You told us what you wanted on day 1. You paid us very handsomely. We did what you asked us to do. Bubba, we want you to work with the New Day. We want you to work with the Usos. We want you to work with the Wyatts. We want you to work with any team that we can throw in front of you and help get them to the next level. Okay, Vince, no problem. But after a year, it was getting a little, I didn't like the way the Dudleys were being kind of stepped on. Now, Vince owns the name. Vince owned the, the right to do whatever he wanted to do with the Dudleys, but I wasn't into it anymore. So I went to him and I said, I'm done with this Dudley stuff. If we're going to continue to do the Dudley stuff, I'm going to split. I said, but I do have something that I'd like to pitch to you. And he looked at me and he goes, I know all about Bully Ray. And for the first time in a long time, I got stopped in my tracks because you don't expect Vince to acknowledge something that happened in another company. And that kind of told me that whatever I did over there kind of got back to him, which is kind of cool. So we had the bully discussions. He couldn't get around the word bully because of the Be a Star program.
Right.
So I told him, I said, Vince, listen, here's how we go about it. We do Bully Ray for a year. I said, and when we get to the end of the Bully Ray, story or run, that one babyface, that uber babyface makes Bully understand the error of his ways and why you shouldn't be a bully. And now Bully Ray can go do all the Be a Star, talks with the younger kids and, don't be a bully. I learned from my ways. It was an in the ring and out of the ring kind of concept. And he goes, my God, I love it. It's great. He goes, but in that year it'll take to get to that, I'll get killed in like the media. Because how can you have an anti-bullying program, but call somebody Bully Ray? Now, they can have characters that act like bullies, but they're not directly calling somebody bully something, whatever. So that was 50% of it. The other 50% of it, I'll save for a story for another day.
Could you not have been Bubba Ray Dudley, but just a heel version that looked and acted like Bully Ray?
The backup name was going to be the Intimidator, Bubba Ray.
Okay.
That was it. He loved it.
So this is where
the other 50% of the story comes in. That, like I said, I'll tell you what, Chris, the day I decide to talk about that other part of the story, I'll talk about it with you.
I look forward to this. Whenever, wherever, we will make this happen. The only reason I'm assuming that you became Brother Ray or Bully Ray is because of the trademark that WWE had.
WWE didn't have the trademark outright. They bought the Dudley name. So that's why we weren't allowed to.
They bought it from Paul?
Well, the Dudley Boy name is original intellectual property of ECW. And when WWE bought ECW out of bankruptcy court, you get to purchase all of the assets. And intellectual property is an asset. So they can claim, the rights and ownership to the Dudley name. And I'll never forget getting the phone call from one of their, lawyers, the day me and Devon did not get released from WWE. Me and Devon did not quit the WWE. WWE and the Dudleys decided in 2005, after One Night Stand, we're just going to shake hands and call it a day for now. And we're going to part ways. And we parted on good terms. But then they called and said, yeah, we own the Dudley name. And I flipped out. I was on a plane. I was like, I was dropping F-bombs and everything. I called a lawyer friend of mine who was a really, really strong intellectual property, like attorney. And he said, listen, I can get you this name back, but if I charge you friend prices, it'll cost you and Devon $100,000.
Wow.
Just wasn't worth it to me, because this is where I kind of thought to myself, you know what? If the Road Warriors can call themselves the Legion of Doom and everybody still knows who the hell it is, the Dudleys can call themselves Team 3D and everybody will still know who the hell it is. And it was pretty seamless. And if you look at the careers of the Dudleys and Team 3D, I can make an argument that Team 3D had just as successful as a run as the Dudleys.
I would certainly agree with that. When you look back at the time in WWE before that, did you ever think about having a singles run before 2005?
I never got into the wrestling business to be a singles wrestler. Austin says if your goal is not to become the WWE heavyweight champion, you're in the wrong business or you have the wrong goals. My thing from a kid was, if you're not in the business to become the WWE World Tag Team Champions, you're not in the right business.
You might be the only person like that. That's amazing.
Henry Hill said, I always knew I wanted to be a gangster. And I always said, I always knew I wanted to be a pro wrestler, but I wanted to be a tag team wrestler. From the first time I saw Gurria and Martel, Fuji and Saito, the Samoans, the Moondogs, the Strongbows, I was hooked from day one on tag team wrestling, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I never had aspirations to be a singles guy. Devon wanted to do the singles thing. He always wanted to branch out and do it. So when that draft came in WWE, I told Vince, this is not a good idea. He said, why? I said, because nobody wanted to see Hawk and Animal wrestle by themselves, and nobody wants to see me and Devon wrestle by ourselves. And I wasn't quite sure how it would go. Did I have confidence in myself? Yeah. Did I have confidence in Devon? Yeah, but I knew we had never done it without each other. So I just didn't think that the people were ready for Bubba by himself or Devon by himself. And months later, Vince put us back together in the Garden. And I always looked at it as it was kind of a failed experiment.
Right. Well, it worked out for Batista.
Oh, absolutely. Dave did it. Hey, Dave was Devon's bodyguard, and it wound up propelling him to superstardom. So something good came out of that split.
Thank you for checking out this clip from my recent interview, and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel, CVV Clips. And as the name suggests, the clips from my longer conversations are going to live here. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on those little nuggets of goodness that we're going to have here.